for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Welcome in. A very happy Friday to you now, July the 18th, if you can believe it. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The days of summer are here, but not for long, as we are just a couple of weeks away from, can you believe it, our very first preseason NFL game. And in the meantime, we also have an upcoming trade deadline in Major League Baseball where teams who are contenders, or at least think they're contenders, will be buyers, and teams who know they're not going anywhere are going to be sellers. And then, of course, once we get to August, everything breaks loose. I'm Joe Raineri. We appreciate you stopping by, as we've got a loaded weekend coming up for you. We welcome back Major League Baseball tonight after a little vacation for many. The All-Star break has now come and gone, but I will tell you this. Another very treacherous night of betting Major League Baseball. Why? Well, for the same reason that when you know you're going on vacation, you tend to check out a little bit early in that last day of work, like a lot of guys did on Sunday. And you know, the worst day is that day that you got to go back to work off of that vacation, where you're going, wow, I could really use a vacation from the vacation. Now, some guys and some teams are going to look forward to getting back out there because they're in the hunt, but there are going to be a lot of guys not happy that they are back at work and wishing I was still on the beach in Aruba. But that's all right. We have got you covered here on GameTime Decisions. We're going to break down all of these Major League Baseball matchups coming up. We got a lot of line flips here today. We've seen some interesting line movement. We have one already in the books. And if you are, and this was the thing I know we were all worried about, if you are a Boston Red Sox fan and you're talking about a team that had a 10-game winning streak heading into that All-Star break, the last thing you want to do is stop playing baseball for 4 or 5 days. And well, unfortunately, that's what happened to Boston. And the Cubs were like, yep, we got no problem breaking that 10-game winning streak, as they've already at home this afternoon bounced the Boston Red Sox, handing them their first loss here in their last 11 games. Colin Ray had a pretty good outing for the Cubs, but let's face it, whatever they are feeding or giving to drink to Lucas Giolito, my goodness, he has been pretty good, and I got to tell you, not a bad. Wasn't great today. He didn't get any run support, but he did pitch out of a lot of jams earlier today. But all signs still pointing up to the Boston Red Sox. Now, however, going to be a very crowded American League East, and we got some great games coming up, some interleague matchups across the board, as well as the American League East leading Toronto Blue Jays are going to get ready to go at it here today, taking on the San Francisco Giants. Now, you've got a Giants team sending out Justin Verlander, and if we're all being honest, I'm not kidding when I say the next win Verlander gets in his Giants uniform will actually be his first. This team has not done great when he has gone to the mound at all, in fact, but that is not the case with Mr. Bassett on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. Why? Well, all they do is win games when he is pitching at home. And I can tell you right now, he has been really good at home, Chris Bassett. 6-0 is what Chris Bassett is at the Rogers Center. He has been just lights out with a 2.81 ERA. Verlander got nearly a 5 ERA on the road. They are 0-2 and 0-6 when he hits the road at night. Not good. Toronto, one of the third best, I think the third best home team in Major League Baseball, 32-16. San Francisco, a game under 500, 24-25. It's very difficult to trust this Giants team, a Giants team that is, one of the worst when it comes to situational hitting. And the Blue Jays, even though they lost a couple on the road against the Athletics of all teams before the break, well, look at now. They are a much better hitting team at home, and they hit for power at home, unlike the Giants, who just, they don't hit at all here. Interesting price here. This is another one of those lines where you kind of scratch your head. We've seen money come in on Verlander and the Giants. Not for me, not my taste. I think the Blue Jays are a pretty solid bet in this one here. So you've got them. You also have the Yankees in an interleague matchup coming up tonight against the Atlanta Braves. I don't know who is left healthy enough to pitch for the New York Yankees tonight. They're going to have to turn to Mr. Hamilton here. They don't have much of a choice. Spencer Strider going for the Braves at Truist Park. And the Braves are sitting there actually at a pretty decent price right now. But who can trust the Braves in any way, shape, or form? This opened up with the Yankees as a slight favorite, -120, and we've seen nothing but Braves money come in since, flipping this line right around that -130, 135. So we got a lot of very intriguing spots in Major League Baseball tonight. Our good friend Tom Vecchio, he's coming up here in just a few. We'll get his thoughts on some of these games, but we are also, keep in mind, we've got 2 rounds of golf in the books at Royal Portrush. And guess who is holding a 1-shot lead heading into the weekend at the Open Championship across the pond? If you thought it was going to be Ricky Fowler, that is absolutely incorrect. It is the one and only Scotty Scheffler. Shocker. With a monster round here today. 764 was the round of the day. He is now in front by a couple of shots, actually, over Matt Fitzpatrick here. So you got to love it. I mean, 1-shot lead actually at 9 under par for Matt Fitzpatrick, who a lot of people thought had a really good opportunity coming off of the Scottish Open, the way he's played, made some adjustments. He had been downright horrible most of the year, but started to figure it out over the last couple of tournaments, and it has translated here in a place that he's, pretty familiar with, but also familiar with the Open Championship. It started with the early round of the day with Brian Harman. He comes out and fires a 65. He rockets up the leaderboard here. He finds himself in a top 5 spot. So what does that mean? Well, it means we're going to have a very interesting weekend over at Port in England or Scotland, really, at this point, because you have to ask yourself, will Rory McIlroy make a run? He's kind of been playing with his food the first couple of days. He finds himself at least 8 shots back of the leaders. And there's some other big names, too, that you got to wonder. And how about Bryson DeChambeau? Shoots a 78 on Thursday, shoots a 65 today, and somehow, well, he'll be playing golf on the weekend. But there's a lot of guys who won't be playing on the weekend. We got a lot more to cover on the Open Championship as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
It's too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on this Friday as we get ready for a big weekend across the board. We got some WNBA All-Star game taking center stage tomorrow in Indiana, minus, of course, Caitlin Clark. But there is some sort of four-point shot that I guess we can all try to wrap our heads around there. But we also have the final 2 days of the final major of the season on the PGA Tour there, the Open Championship. And guess who is leading that? But We welcome back Major League Baseball, and it starts here tonight. One game in the books already with the Cubs having beat Boston. We got plenty more to go here. Let's bring in our good friend Tom Vecchio as we get ready for the final two-thirds of the season here. And always a little treacherous that Sunday, when you're going on vacation, and of course that Friday when you get back on vacation because you're like, oh, I wish I was anywhere else other than this. But that's not going to stop me. Well, it certainly stopped the Red Sox. How do you like a 10-game winning streak getting blown up because you took 4 or 5 days off, Tom? They can't be happy in Boston right now.
No, they can't. Like, you have literally all this momentum, and after the Rafi Devers trade, things did not look good. But like, you're having new energy on the team with all these young players. You go in scorching hot, and then it's like, oh, you just got to take this time off. And it's different compared to like an NFL team having a bye week because that's them getting healthy. Like, baseball is a rhythm game. They were in rhythm, and they were just forced to lose it essentially.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate, but we still got a couple of weeks before the trade deadline too, and we got, now's the time to figure out teams that are contenders, teams that are pretenders, what names are going to move the needle. We don't really know. We're hearing some rumors. Ultimately, though, the trade deadline, when it comes down to it, depending on who thinks they're going to be sellers, who's available in your book, Tom, that can actually move the needle for any of these teams?
Who's available and who's going to move the needle, there's not too much. That's really what it comes down to. So one player that is available, if we want to get into the Orioles at the Rays, Charlie Morton's name has been going around for pitching out. He moved the needle. Charlie Morton started the year terribly, and he has been pitching better as of late. But if he's available and there's a chance that the Orioles may be moving him, a part of my reasoning for liking Charlie Morton under 4.5 strikeouts is A, we're getting plus money, and B, there is that sense that he is a trade asset that they're going to use, and they may reel in his innings at some point. He may not be pushing the 6-7 innings. He gets to 85 pitches, 80 pitches, whatever it might be, is the 5th inning, they pull him. So I would not be making this argument about Charlie Morton under strikeouts if it was juice, if it was minus 120. I'm doing it because of the combination of plus money and his name has been brought up in trade. So this is something that we're going to see, Joe, over the next however many weeks leading up to the trade deadline. It's like, listen, pitchers are out there, but they may not be out there for their full complement of innings.
Yes, I agree. And a lot is going to depend. Still a couple of weeks here to go before that deadline. You've got teams like the Tampa Bay Rays, who we all think might be buyers, but the reality is if they don't get it going here and all of a sudden start falling back down the American League East standings, they get guys like Brandon Lowe, Pete Fairbanks due for big contracts that could come available. So, a Tampa to me is the most interesting because if they go on a losing streak and they haven't been great before the break, there are some guys that can move the needle on that team if they want to make them available.
Yeah, absolutely. They were hot in the, I want to say, what was it, the beginning portion of June. They went up to Minnesota, if I remember correctly, and things, kind of cooled off from there. The point that I would make about Tampa, if you are looking to fade them, they're not going to be playing too many home games coming up. Like the MLB has worked out their schedule because of so much rain. They have a lot of road games coming up, and obviously it's a decrease to their hitting environment overall. So if you do not think the Rays are good or scoring, like team total unders could be the spot to go moving forward.
All right, so of all the guys that we saw in the home run derby over on Monday, which one's hitting a home run today, Tom, do you think? O'Neal Cruz, is it Ra? Like, who should we double down on here to get one over the fence tonight?
I think O'Neal Cruz is an easy answer. They're going up against the White Sox. I wouldn't mind that. Again, I don't have a ton of faith in Charlie Morton, so if I would want to see his under on strikeouts hit, like Caminero, it is nice hitting whether it's like 87 degrees, or I shouldn't say 80, 87, that's a pretty big range. It's like 85, 87 degrees with a little bit of wind blowing out. Great hitter's park to begin with. So Caminero coming up just a little bit short, I think he gets it done.
I don't hate that idea actually at all here, but we do have a couple other teams that are in the hunt. The Astros are like a bad rash. They won't go anywhere. You've got the Mariners who are battling kind of with Tampa in that wild card race there. This is a pretty important couple of weeks for them, but I call me crazy. I don't believe Seattle will ever make a move to better their team worth of anything at the break because, well, they've never done it, right?
They really haven't. And, you know, I legitimately think like today's maybe one of the hardest days to bet in baseball. Just because, like, again, the Red Sox super hot. You lost that. Teams that were cold can come out super hot over the weekend. They could sweep up a team. Hitters that were going 2 for 3, 2 for 4, multiple, RBIs are now all of a sudden cold. We don't know what's going to happen. So I like taking some plus money where I can get it. So I like the Astros money line. I also do like the under in this game. From a name brand perspective, like household names, Luis Castillo is kind of a proven pitcher. And Brandon Walter on the other side is not a proven pitcher, but he has some sneaky good underlying metrics. So I'm not sold on the Mariners offense, and I also like the Astros to come away with the win.
We've also seen a bunch of line swaps here. Favorites have gone to dogs, Yankees being one of them. Strider on the mound taking on Hamilton for the Yankees. Do you agree with the move?
I do. I think it's partly just, again, name brand value. The Yankees have an opener out there, a bullpen game, whatever you want to call it, since they lost Clark Schmidt. But I think the Braves, if you got them early, great. If you don't have them early or you didn't get them early, I wouldn't be laying it because they've not been a good team this year. Not saying the Yankees haven't, but man.
You just can't trust them. At Truist Park, by the way, total locked in at 8.5. It hasn't moved, which I think is also interesting in this spot. All right, we got more games to talk about. We got Tom's favorite pitcher, Kyle Freeland, on the mound tonight. We'll see how he's going to play that. And we got more Major League Baseball to talk as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that wrist. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Well, things aren't going well for Pittsburgh on their first day back from vacation. 3-0 White Sox right now. Early in that one, Brady Falter was a name that we heard a lot maybe prior to the trade deadline. Mitch Keller was another one. Some of these pitchers that are having pretty good seasons that are just stuck on teams that, well, they can't score runs. Kind of like Justin Verlander here tonight, Tom Vecchio. Justin Verlander, it's not that he's pitched terrible. It's just that they don't score for him or any other pitcher for that matter. So he's kind of had a rough stretch there. But, I mean, my goodness, now we're expecting him to go to Toronto to take on Chris Bassett, who never loses at the Rogers Center. And yet I haven't seen any Toronto money come in. It seems like we're still hovering around the 130, 140 mark here. Seems cheap for Toronto.
It does. I don't think Chris Bassett's a good pitcher. So when we're and listen, Verlander has not been good this year, and you started off the year super rough. He's gotten better at times. You know, when I see matchups like this, the way I like to break it down and have a view of things is like, of the four factors, let's just call it pitcher A, pitcher B, lineup A, lineup B. It's like, who am I banking on the most to do the heavy lifting? And really comes down to the Blue Jays lineup. So I'm not betting on Bassett. Like, I would not go to a first five on the Blue Jays. If the Blue Jays win, it's because I think their lineup will come through and power them to the win, rather than Bassett, give me 7 innings of 1 run, and they come out with the win. It's like, the Blue Jays won because they scored, not because Bassett was great. So yes, I agree it's a good price, but I'm banking on the hitting, not the pitching.
What are we doing with the Mets opening up at home, welcoming in Cincinnati? Manaea, who I think pitched a couple innings out of the bullpen in his return. Now he's going to get the start against Lodolo here. Mets have been bet on at City. It's any place else you kind of want to take a step back. But do we like them here tonight?
Yes and no. I like them to come away with the win. I don't like this price. Manaea coming out after the break, he pitched 2.1 innings in Kansas City over the weekend right before the break. I don't like laying this price on a pitcher that I do think he is good, but it's a small sample size that we're drawing from. He's coming off an injury. The Mets bullpen has taken a big step back compared to where they were at the beginning portion of the season. They were awesome. Their entire pitching staff ERA has dropped significantly. And the Reds are a pesky team. They may not be great, but they're a pesky team. And they're a team that can give a pitcher that's coming off an injury a little bit of trouble. So I like the Mets. I don't like minus 158.
Let the record show that the last 4 swings Kyle Schwarber has now taken in a baseball game have resulted in a home run. It is 1-0 Philadelphia, as he, in fact, has jumped all over in the bottom of the first. The Angels, shocker, Schwarber's the guy that ends up hitting a home run here. That's 4 straight for him. Kudos there, Schwarber. Call me crazy, but the game that I think I'm looking forward to, because I think this could be a preview of the playoffs when the Brewers taking on the Dodgers here tonight, late game. You got Priester, the rookie, who's been really good for the Brewers. Glass now on the mound for the Dodgers here, trying to get back into it. What are we thinking here? It's a pretty good matchup.
Might as well be made of glass at this point for him. But, the Brewers coming into the break, was it 7 straight wins, 6 straight wins? Super hot team. They're going up against Glasnow, who is a very good pitcher. Like, he is. But he's not at his peak right now. And also, minus 188 is like an insane line to I think, to lay on this Dodgers team, especially how they were playing. So, first 5 for the Brewers, live line for the Dodgers, closer to even money. I think both things can be true. Now, obviously, it's a little bit of like the Brewers, you have to get them in the first 5 at plus money, but then are you going to be up and able to bet the Dodgers at a live line? So it's a bit of a small window to get down to, but I don't like laying minus 188 on a team that has not been playing well, combined with the fact that we are getting a solid plus money price on first 5 Brewers. So give me a little bit of a skill shot trying to nail this tight window late game.
I love it. All right, are we looking for Colorado to start the second half on the right foot, taking on the Twins and Paddock? Listen, Kyle Freeland could be on another team by tomorrow.
Listen, Chris Paddock is terrible. He's a terrible pitcher, and laying minus 172 is bananas. You may not think the Rockies are good, but do not lay minus 170 with Chris Paddock.
I could not disagree in any way, shape, or form with that. I think that's absolutely crazy. Call me nuts. I think we start the second half off with a big dog winner. And if you had taken the White Sox, and you're looking pretty good, and an opportunity here to back Colorado, as disgusting as that is. My goodness. Tom, always a pleasure, man. Can you believe football is just 2.5 weeks away? It's kind of bonkers, man, but we got plenty of baseball still. Game Time Decisions. We're back another hour next here on the Grid.
right, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of thoughts.
18.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Welcome in here. GameTime Decisions. A happy Friday to you. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by here on the SportsGrid Network as we welcome back Major League Baseball. That's right. The final two-thirds of the regular season underway here. Plenty of games started, and we also have a bunch more getting ready to go. We'll have much more on Major League Baseball coming up, but let's not forget, we also have some, if you have a little insomnia, you got plenty to watch overnight on TV. Across the pond, that would be the Open Championship. And let's bring in our good friend, Brady Cannon, because there's nothing like rolling over, Brady. I can't sleep, 2 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast. Let me, wait, Peacock? I got to throw Peacock, but it's there. You've got golf, you've got it across the pond, and we've actually seen in the early hours, we've seen some really good rounds by some guys early. We saw Harmon today, former, defending champion there in 2023. He comes out, early round, shoots 65, sets the table. But here we go again, Brady. I just want to say this could be the biggest bad beat I have ever seen in the last 6 months. I can't remember a bad beat worse than having Bryson DeChambeau to miss the cut at plus 325, and he shoots 78 on Thursday. And Brady, I literally never looked again. I was like, that was the easiest money. I already spent that money only to find out that he shot 65 today to make the cut. You got to be kidding me.
God, you are twisting the knife, my friend. I swear to goodness, that was absolutely disgusting me in bed.
Unreal.
You're trying to watch this tournament. I mean, the guy, what did he make? 5 birdies in his last 8 holes or something like that? I mean, just went absolutely berserk. I was, and I was really guarding against trying to count my chickens before they'd hatched. I was like, okay, this looks really good, but I'm not gonna sign off on it just yet. And sure enough, that sucker,
Unreal.
man, I'm telling you, I've been talking about that bet. I wrote about it. I talked about it. I mean, it was all over the place. I got an incredible number. boy, that
Brady,
guy,
he was
7
swinging
birdies
on Thursday and missing the golf ball. Like, it was comical how awful he was at 78 on Thursday. And I'm going, this was the greatest bet Brady's ever given out. This is going to be fantastic. And then he shoots 65 today. But we do have, I mean, I think it's something like, 23, 24 guys within 8 strokes here of the lead. Scotty's doing Scotty things. But if he does come back a little bit, listen, what do you think the final score is going to be to win this? Let's start with that and work our way back.
God, that's a good, I mean, I think they're going to thrash the pre-tournament number of 12 and a half under par because I think the worst of the weather is behind us. We're not seeing much wind in the forecast. Now, again, we know seaside location, Northern Ireland, just because it says 10 miles an hour online, you can get gusts of 20, 25. And I would expect that's going to kind of mix in. There's a little bit of rain in the forecast here and there. So I think we're going to kind of get the same mixture of conditions we've had for the first 2 days, probably just not as heavy. Little bit of rain, little bit of wind, but not as much of it. I think scoring conditions will be very, very good. And that's bad news for everybody else not named Scotty Scheffler, because the nastier it gets, the more chance he has to make mistakes. And if it's benign, then he should be able to cruise. And we know what kind of front runner he is. There are a couple of red flags going on with Scotty. He's losing strokes off the tee. He found very few fairways on Thursday. So he's not doing great off the tee. We saw this at the U.S. Open at Oakmont too. Got a little nervy with that driver and was pulling it to the left. We've seen that a little bit here at Royal Portrush as well. And then the putter. The putter is steaming hot. He is nearly 2 strokes ahead of everybody in this field for strokes gained putting. He's number 1 in the field right now with the putter. And it was just last week at the Scottish Open where he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a putter. So we know it's a volatile skill set, and it's been extremely volatile for Scotty just in the last 5 days or so. So is that going to hold up over the weekend? Those are kind of your last lines of hope if you're rooting against Scotty Scheffler right now. Getting a little shaky off the tee, and the putter is so hot, you would not expect it to remain that hot. You got to believe that's going to regress a little bit. So we'll see. We got 36 holes left, Joe. Do you want to lay almost $2 with Scotty at this point?
No.
If I had 18 holes left, I might, but not with 36 left and an Open Championship next to the ocean where just about anything can happen weather-wise.
My hope was that he'd go ahead and be 5 or 6 shots off the lead heading into the weekend, and then we could have jumped in on him at a better number than the 3 to 4 to 1 that he was to start the tournament. But if we're looking at this leaderboard, and there are some big names and a lot of experience and major champions here, how far down? What's the cutoff for us to think they've got a shot of actually winning this thing?
I don't think he can go lower or down the board deeper than the guys at 5 under par. And history would tell you that's as far as you can go as well. This is courtesy of my friend Justin Ray on Twitter, who does a fantastic job. He's there in Portrush. 44 of the last 47 men's major winners had been tied for 9th place or better heading into Saturday, heading into the 3rd round. And that's exactly where those guys are. I think they're currently tied for 5th. But once you go to 4 under par, where like Tony Finau is and the Højgaard brothers, that type of thing, then you're at 10th place or worse. So again, 9th place better is what it's been for, again, 44 out of the last 47 major winners. And I think it's even a stretch for those guys. I don't think you're getting a great price on 2 guys that I have pre-tournament, Robert McIntyre and Tyrrell Hatton, playing beautifully. But boy, I don't know. And now you're getting basically the same price that they were at pre-tournament. I don't think that's long enough. If you're going to go down and take a stab with one of those guys, Harris English at 65 to 1, he's at 5 under par. He's got the same score as McIntyre and Hatton, and he's at twice the price. That's good value there. And I don't think the price is bad on Fitzpatrick or Harmon either. But, You're paying a little bit of a tax for Hatton and McIntyre, but again, I think all those guys at 5 under par or better, there's a lot of golf left for those people, and they still have a chance.
So I saw this earlier today. Tell me what you think, Brady. Will there be a playoff? Yes is plus 500.
Wow. Well, if Scotty, I think if you believe Scotty's going to win it, then no, you bet no playoff. If you don't think it's going to be Scotty, then maybe you take a shot, because we know Scheffler well enough. He's not going to let anybody catch him if he's out in front. If it's not going to be him, then yeah, maybe there will be a playoff.
And I don't think there's been a hole-in-one yet. If I'm not mistaken, the tour, there has not been. So maybe a little weekend magic.
Not as much wind, not as much rain. Yeah.
Could be plus 300 that there will be a hole-in-one over the weekend. So not a bad way to look if you guys want to get up that early in the morning and just, that's total degenerate city, and I love it. I'll be there. Brady Cannon, always a pleasure, my man. This should be a heck of a weekend and final couple of rounds here. We appreciate it.
Can't wait
as
to
always.
watch more Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, Tony, thanks.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
It's too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in. Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network as we welcome back in Major League Baseball. The final two-thirds of the season is upon us. A lot of games underway right now. One of them is the New York Mets at home and hopefully some reinforcements with that starting pitching staff. Manaea on the mound, Lodolo for Cincinnati. Mets pretty nice size favorite, although they opened up at about $1.60, $1.65. We're seeing 150, 155 now. Total just 7.5. So let's bring in our good friend who will take over at the top of the hour for some in-game live tonight, Scotty Wetzel. Talk to me about these Mets here. Listen, Cincinnati I've given up on. I never know which team shows up on a night-to-night basis. If they're hitting, Scotty, they win by 20. If they're not, they're scoring no runs or one run, and they get blown out. Which one is it tonight, do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Mets. I'll give you a water cooler pop quiz for you if you want. Who's the only team to not get swept in a 3-game series or more this year? Believe it or not, the Cincinnati Reds. They've lost 4 in a row, but it would be, they would win the first game of a 3-game series, lose the next 2, lose the next 2 of a 3-game series, but then win the last one. But they're the only team. Dodgers have, Mets have, everyone has. So a little pop quiz water core there. I'm going to go with the Mets, Joe. They don't lose at home. Going back to last year, last 66 home games, they're 48-18. That is amazing. And that's got to be, I don't know, but I'm thinking that's got to be the best home record, better than the Dodgers, better than anybody else over that span. 48-18, doesn't matter who they're throwing out there. But you mentioned is starting tonight. They limped home, no doubt about it. Heading into the All-Star break, 9-18, their last 27 games, but most of that was on the road. They're at home. Give me the Mets less than 2-1. I got a minus 154, 155. Like you said, that's pretty much where it is right now. Game just underway.
I like it. And apparently here in Florida there, in Tampa, it's Senior Citizens Night. Charlie Morton is on the mound for the Orioles here. How fitting there. Taj Bradley for the Rays. We talked to Tom Vecchio earlier. I think this is a pretty big couple of weeks for Tampa because if they don't get this thing right, there are some names like Fairbanks and Lowe that could very well become available for teams here by the trade deadline. Does Tampa start off on the right foot here at home?
Yeah, I don't think so, Joe. It's a toss-up series, right? Tampa Bay limped home, 1-6 their last 7, heading into the break, 3-11 their last 14. Baltimore 6-3 on the other hand, their last 9. And you talk about trade people. How about Charlie Morton? The Orioles 7-1. He got up to an awful start. It's just brutal, right? To the season. Orioles are now 7-1 his last 8 starts. He has pitched very well. Tampa Bay, pretty good at home, 17-7 their last 24 at home. But I'll take the Orioles playing a little bit better baseball. Charlie's on the hill. He no doubt wants to get out of there. So, he's going to be thinking, okay, let me pitch well for the next 2 weeks. And maybe the Orioles trade me. So 7-1 their last 8. Give me the Orioles plus odds.
All right, what are we doing here? And we talked about it. It used to be automatic fade Patrick Corbin night. Can't do that this year. And we can't do it when he's pitching at home either because there are never enough runs scored. I just cannot believe the unders at Arlington this year. And I think it dates back to last year, Scotty, too. They've been one of the most profitable under bets when they play at home. Tigers taking on Texas. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm going to buck the trends here. We've given out so many time unders because you mentioned it, Joe, that they're just an automatic under team, right? But I will say this, ever since Corey Seager has caught fire, and he might be the hottest hitter in all of baseball. You look at his game logs over the last 3 weeks, man, he has just been a constant 1-2 hits, 1-2 runs, RBIs, the whole kit and caboodle. Once he's become alive, Texas has scored all of a sudden. How about that? Guy in the middle of my lineup actually hitting. A crazy thing here, right? They're 10-4 over their last 14 games. Tigers, 17-8 over their last 25 games. So, I'm going to play a little hunch. Kill me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm going to go over 8.5, believe it or not, Detroit at Texas.
Yeah, people don't remember. Like, Detroit's on a 4-game losing streak, and I don't think anybody even remembers that. They have not been playing well. Riley Green can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. I don't know that it gets any better here tonight. So I kind of like that. I even like the Texas team total over in that one. What about out west? Couple of really good ones here tonight. Start with the Dodgers and the Brewers, which could very well be, dare I say, a battle of the National League future pennant here. What do you think?
Yeah, it might be. I think the Brewers are live dogs. I know the Dodgers won their last 2 games in San Fran to close out the first half, Joe, but they were obviously limping home, right? They lost 7 straight, first time in almost 10 years. They lost that many. They're fortunate to get a couple of runs, but it's a kind of a Quinn Priester play on him. They've won their last 8 starts with him on the hill, Milwaukee. So they're playing good baseball. They're battling for first place. They've won 7 in a row, albeit, this week off basically kind of screws that stuff up. But they still play 17-5 their last 22, including 7 in a row. Now I got a pitcher on the hill that they haven't lost the last 2 months he's pitched. 8-0, as I mentioned. You want to give me $160 on that? I'll take a flyer on the Brewers tonight. Why not?
Why not? And what about a battle here of the American League West with Houston and Seattle tonight? Walter taking on Castillo. This was another one of these line flips. Houston opened up as the favorite. They ain't a favorite anymore here tonight, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under on that one, Joe. It's 7.5. Seattle's an under machine. Houston, they played well. They are, they can hit the ball certain times. Other times they go a little stale. I think obviously it's a really, really good series, right? I think it's going to be a close series. I think we're looking at 4 3s, 3 2s, 4 1s. So let me go under the 7.5 tonight.
Ooh, going under the 7.5 here. And any idea? Did you bet the Yankees or Atlanta tonight, or did you just go under?
Yeah, got to go over, right? Stanky's on one of those overruns, 12-2 over the last 14.
Feast or famine.
Do that. Feast or famine. Yep. Let's go with the feast tonight, right?
Unbelievable. Well, that's good stuff because you'll get to carry all of these games for us coming up top of the hour as in-game live. Don't forget that. We'll talk a little Open Championship with Scott when we get back.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with 1 entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in GameTime Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri alongside Scotty Wetzel. He'll be taking over top of the hour for some in-game live. A lot of baseball here as it's back, Scotty, including the Marlins down the road from me here, taking on Kansas City. Lugo against Alcantara, and just like that, Miami out in front quickly here, 1-0. What were you thinking about this game?
Yeah, I do like this one, John. I like the over Kansas City team total 3.5. With Alcantara on the hill, outside of 2-3 starts in early June, man, he's been nothing short of awful. He really has. Out of his 18 starts, he alone has given up 4 runs or more in 11 of them. If you throw in the relievers, all but 4 of his 18 starts, the opposition has scored 4 runs or more. He put 2 on in the first inning. KC didn't score, but it's a good sign. He walked the batter already. He gave up a base hit. So I doubt that line is going to drop to 2.5 before another inning or two. But so you can still get it at 3.5. Like I said, his last outing, 6 runs, 5 runs, 7 runs. He's just been awful all year. Like I said, outside of that 3 or 4 game stretch he had in early June, but other than that, he's been awful. Like even the light hitting Royals tonight should really be able to get 4 runs.
Yeah, well, it's I can tell you right now, Scotty, in game, we'll take a look at this here quick. You can get all of a sudden, I mean, I'm seeing Miami minus 190 in game with a 1-0 lead here. Would now be the time to hop on the Kansas City Royals at a pretty good plus price, no?
Yeah, you have to,
Plus
right?
150.
You know they're going to score. Yeah, that's a big number. The 2 mediocre teams, right? I know Miami's been playing much better. I get that. I got their over second half, so I'm kind of rooting on them. But you want to give me Kansas City? It got priced down 1-0 first inning. I'm in. Yeah, with Alcantara on the hill, yeah, I'll take my chances. He lays an egg somewhere along the line.
Love it. I am in there. All right, let's talk about the another one of these late games here quick with Arizona, who I think should be absolute sellers at the deadline, taking on the Cardinals, who call me crazy. I just don't think they're going to match the success here in the latter half of the season that they did in the first. Palante versus Fat, what are we thinking?
Yeah, 2 mediocre, right, pitchers. I agree with you, Joe. I think it's kind of, showing their true colors. They were only 4-8, the Cardinals, last 12 games to close out the first half. I think we're going to get some runs, though. Cardinals 7-2 over their last 9. Arizona 21-7 over their last 28 games. We know how their bullpen is. It's awful. I'm playing a hunch. If you just go in general, I would play under pitcher strikeouts because the relievers have been sitting around for a week without any work. I think the managers are going to want to try and get the bullpen in play. And for Arizona, that's bad news. So you might get a good solid 4 innings, 5 going, maybe 5 innings, and then 4 innings out of that god-awful Arizona bullpen. Over 8.5. I was surprised. I thought this would be 9. I really did. So give me the over 8.5, St. Louis and Arizona.
Yeah, forget everything I said there about Kansas City. Stowers just hits a 2-run home run to make it 3-0 Miami in the bottom of the first inning. So that's what I said about welcome back from vacation there, Lugo. Some guys just wish they were still on vacation there, Scotty. How are your Open Championship bets rolling? I know I saw they're still not. You were on here Wednesday. We talked about it. You said yes to the will there be a hole-in-one? We haven't had one yet. You can still get it at a pretty good price. And will there be a playoff is still plus 500 right now. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking yes. Yeah, you're right. I did yes on both. I laid $125 on the hole-in-one originally. I still think when everything is said and done, we're going to get a hole-in-one. Will there be a playoff? The way it's situated now, I mean, it was only plus 375 to start. If you want to give me 5-1, we got 4 guys atop the leaderboard, all within 2 shots of each other with 2 holes left. That's not too bad. You got some decent names. Finau's on the leaderboard. Hatton's on the leaderboard, right? Obviously, Scotty Scheffler's the main guy. So I still like that bet, and I like Scheffler, and I put Scheffler and Morikawa in, Joe. Forget about Morikawa. I don't even know if he made the cut, Morikawa. I kind of doubt it. He did. Yeah, it's amazing. So, but Scotty at 4.5-1, which I got it at. I know it was at 5.5-1 in some circles. Looking pretty good. Rare tournament in which he's actually leading after 2 rounds, right? He always plays catch up. He actually started this tournament well.
Yeah, well, you go, you make putts like you did today, 7 under on Friday. We'll do that at 10 under par, minus 200 right now. So you got yourself a pretty good deal there, Scotty, pre-flop there at over 4-1. So we'll see you top of the hour. Scotty, you got a lot of baseball here that you're going to bring us home with on In Game Live. We've got more Game Time Decisions coming up next here on the Grid.
Oh, yeah. Time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that river. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's In-Game Live, your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on this Friday. We appreciate you stopping by. I'm Joe Raineri, and listen, we've got a lot of Major League Baseball going on. A lot of home runs, a lot of runs being scored early. Looks like we're getting a lot of Yerfies here. Atlanta has already scored 2 on the Yanks. They're up 2-0 in the bottom of the first. We told you Miami has dropped a 3 spot on Seth Lugo in Kansas City. They are now headed to the top of the second. The White Sox dropped a 3 spot on Pittsburgh early in that one. And we got 1-0 Mets right now. Top of the second inning. They dropped a run on Lodolo and Cincinnati. Let's bring in our good friend Rob Donaldson here. Try to make heads or tails of some of these games coming up, Rob. And it's always treacherous, this first game back after a vacation, because we all know, Rob, I mean, my first day back, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, I need another vacation just from the vacation. And a few teams right now, as I'm watching them, look very much like that, including the Yankees. But how about Baltimore and Tampa, who don't have a lot of time to waste here? This is an interesting one coming up in Tampa. Taj Bradley, I guess it's senior citizen night. Charlie Morton's pitching. I don't know if he's pitching underhand, Rob, but what are we doing in this game in Tampa? Both these teams need some wins, no?
Well, you know, I think the Orioles' morale is kind of the mindset of they're just being sellers. I mean, this season's coming down to this final week, and this is the last time we're going to see this roster intact. I feel like that's just kind of an already kind of seen sort of deal. And when you're looking at Charlie Morton, since it turned into May, he actually has a sub 3.3 ERA. He's been one of the better value backs in baseball because simultaneously the Orioles lineup has kind of come alive during that span of time as well. And this is a dude that only has 1 year remaining on his deal. I feel like he's also going to be pitching for his next gig in this final start here with the Orioles potentially. And for that reason, I think Taj Bradley is going to be able to go out there and do reasonably well. But I think Charlie Morton's actually going to be carrying this total under the 9. And I really do like this angle in the first game back.
Welcome back. Bryce Harper with a 3-run home run to go up 4-1 on the Angels. Could be one of those nights for a lot of overs here tonight. But Tampa and Baltimore, that game getting ready here at the bottom of the hour. What about this St. Louis and Arizona game coming up? Feels like a low total for an Arizona team that it just feels like they play nothing but overs, especially at home here. Brandon Pfaadt taking on Palante here. What are we doing in this one?
Well, when you look at Brandon Pfaadt, he's a guy that gives up a ton of hard contact. And right now, the Cardinals lineup, I feel like the morale of this clubhouse is they're probably just going to sit at their hands near the trade deadline. So what they have right now is what they got moving forward. And I sometimes think that's actually a net benefit where you say, hey, let's go win with the guys we have. And the guys they have right now are hitting righties extremely hard because when you look at Alec Burleson, Brendan Donovan, Mason Wynn, Nolan Gorman, a bunch of lefty bats that are just absolutely teeing off right now. And Brandon Pfaadt has been serving them up for these lefty bats. So when you are looking at the Cardinals as sort of that even sort of underdog right now, I grabbed them at plus 110 last night. I think that they're going to be have that definitive edge through the first 5 frames and throughout the entire game here as well.
Yeah, it's what are we thinking? Arizona should be sellers. Is St. Louis? There's a lot of folks think St. Louis. Listen, you're not catching Milwaukee or the Cubs. Are they sellers as well? I mean, they got some bloated contracts. They need to at some point decide when they're going to hit the reset button. But if I'm Arizona and I'm St. Louis, I'm looking to press the sell button and restart. No.
I don't think Cardinals fans are going to let this front office end up, just kind of wholesale selling when they're right in the firmly kind of the wild card picture. And, to your point, I think the Brewers and Cubs have enough trade chips to really go get even better than what they currently are. And they have a lead and a stranglehold on this NL Central. But if the Cardinals have a playoff chance, they're not going to be one of these teams that ends up selling off. They might even be one of those teams that ends up tentatively buying maybe some of these like 1-year-old veteran types to bring in for the bullpen or through maybe like a back end rotation piece. And that's what I think they ultimately do, or just kind of sit on what they have. And I think that could end up serving as like a net benefit to their clubhouse.
Yeah, I think the next couple of weeks is big, especially for a team like the Cardinals and teams like Arizona. But call me crazy. This late game here tonight, Rob, it feels like this could be a preview of the National League pennant with Milwaukee taking on the Dodgers here. Dodgers kind of limped into the All-Star break here, but they got Glass now back on the mound. And now Priester going for Milwaukee, and they don't care where they play, home, away. They've done a pretty good job of beating everybody. What are we thinking here?
Yeah, 2 teams like heading into the All-Star break were heading in opposite directions, right? I mean, the Dodgers were skidding and the Brewers were on a 7-game win streak. And when you are kind of looking at it from that standpoint, obviously we saw the Red Sox, who were on a 10-game win streak heading into the All-Star break earlier today, kind of lose handily. And I feel like that reset can serve as sort of a detriment when you are in a hot streak and rolling, especially when, maybe you're going up against a team that was skidding and has that course correct to get back into the plus column. And so I do like the Dodgers to kind of have a run line opportunity tonight, even if you want to ladder that thing up. I think that's a really good shot. And also, Quinn Priester has been dodging a lot of bullets already this season. Again, you want to talk about a kind of a course correction at the All-Star break. He might be heading in the opposite direction in terms of kind of that negative regression side of things.
We also have a couple of teams that, feel like they might be heading in a different direction come All-Star break. Detroit lost their last 4 games. Doesn't seem like they can hit water to fall out of a boat, but now they got to go to Arlington. And Texas, as Corey Seager goes, apparently that offense goes, and they've done a really good job of finally being able to put up some runs. Patrick Corbin, I give up. It's no more Fade Corbin day. Reese Olson going for Detroit, but do we trust Detroit here?
You know, this is one of the tougher ones to gauge, I think, because kind of like what we were just talking about, a course correct. You know, I think Patrick Corbin's actually pitching as well as his underlying numbers might suggest he should be pitching. But is this a sustainable thing for a guy that we saw in Washington over the last, 5-6 years? I have really no clue. And so heading into this like second half of the season here, I'm not sure I want to be backing Patrick Corbin sort of outwardly, but maybe I don't want to be fading him. And so that almost leaves this game and this particular pitching matchup almost as like a complete stay away for me here on Friday.
Yeah, I will say this, the trends don't lie. Arlington is a under machine. I think the most profitable team to the under dating back to last year, believe it or not. We know they had a ton of injuries last year, but my goodness, we don't get overs there. So maybe an under 8.5 might not be a bad way to look in this one. Seattle throwing Castillo tonight against Houston. Well, boy, I tell you, they get swept by the Yankees, Seattle, and then they go into break just going scorched earth on everything. So what do we do here with Seattle? Do we like them here tonight at home?
Well, hey, Seattle has a ton of right-handers who are hitting the ball extremely hard right now. And when you're looking at Walter, he's one of those guys that I point to as actually an extreme regression candidate based on how many hard hits he's allowing and how less often he's kind of paying for it right now. And we have seen some blow-up outings, notably against the Angels as of late, but I don't think that the Mariners are going to have a trouble getting on the bases tonight. And if they can land a long ball, don't be surprised if they ended up winning this thing like 7-2 or 7-3.
Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how we roll here, Rob. But it's good to have Major League Baseball back, without a doubt. We got much more still to come here as the regular season. I got 2/3 of these games coming up. I think the next 2 weeks, pretty important for a lot of these teams come the trade deadline. Look forward to talking to you again, though, Rob. Enjoy the weekend. Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. A happy Friday to you. I'm Joe Raineri, and in addition to, of course, Major League Baseball being back, we've got a great weekend across the pond at the Open Championship. Scotty Scheffler doing his thing once again. Great golf. And let's not forget, we've got a pretty big UFC card coming up, 318, in fact, in New Orleans. And what do we got? 14 bouts here. And who better to talk UFC with than our good friend Rohit Panaya here, ready to go, covers.com. And I mean, Ro, this is an interesting location. And then where you see the, who the headliner is, now you're understanding why we're going to be in New Orleans here. But I am seeing 9 fights at welterweight or heavier there, like a $170 or higher. This should be one of the more bloodier cards than we have seen in a while, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of action-packed fights. There's a lot of guys that like to stand and strike here. A lot of guys that are kind of in desperate spots, too, trying to rise in the rankings or avoid getting cut. So a lot of guys that are going to be desperate to put on a show. And, I think we're going to see quite a few fights go the distance, but they're still going to be action-packed. We're going to see a lot of blood. We're going to see a lot of good tilts.
Yeah, and let's face it, bro. There are guys here that some of them you're going to have to kill before they'll actually give up or throw down. So I love it. And you don't have to look any further than the lightweight, the 155 main event, Dustin Poirier in his hometown, Max Holloway looking to finally beat him 0-2 in 2 tries here. Could this be the time that Holloway gets it done? And wasn't you who told me that if a fighter knows he's retiring after the fight, he's probably already retired maybe 2 fights sooner? So what are we thinking here with Poirier?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I know that is a narrative that I hear repeated an awful lot. But, I mean, a lot of times we've seen guys go out on top. I mean, people seem to forget it. But, I mean, obviously we saw it with GSP. We saw it with Khabib. But even someone like Robbie Lawler, 40 years old, bunch of losses towards the end of his career, and then he goes out and knocks a guy out to, as an underdog in his final fight. So we have seen guys go out on top. He's doing it in front of his home crowd. I thought his previous fight might have been a retirement fight against Islam, but he put on a pretty good show there. Everyone expected him to just get dominated. It was pretty competitive. Made it to the final round before getting subbed. So I think he's going to put on a show, and I don't think mentally that he's already cashed out necessarily.
Listen, Holloway, I give him credit. He is, about 3 years younger than Poirier, but both of these guys, man, the chins have let him down the last couple of fights. We've seen Poirier get knocked out and Holloway, but I mean, it's no shame in Poirier knocking you out. But very few guys can do that to Holloway here. You think maybe it goes to the card, or does somebody end up on their back? It's a KO, TKO of some sort here.
That's the big question in this one, because the thing with someone like Holloway is, I mean, his chin was just incredible. The guy had never been knocked down. He just eaten so many punches. I mean, he has the most significant strikes in UFC history by a massive margin. I think Poirier's 8th on that list, and he has about twice as many as Poirier. But at the same time, he's also absorbed the most significant strikes to the head. And a lot of times for those guys, even the toughest guys, even the most elite fighters, when that chin gets cracked, it's never the same after that. So I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, he is moving up a weight class. Usually you're a little bit more durable when you're not draining as much. He does look like a natural lightweight now. He looked like that against Gaethje. Put on a fantastic performance against Justin Gaethje. But at the same time, I think he's going to get cracked here by Dustin. And I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to handle it as well as maybe he could in the past. Does that mean he's going to get knocked out necessarily? No, I mean, but he might be getting wobbled here. He might be stumbled. He's got a lot of scar tissue built up in that face as well. It doesn't take much to get cut up. And when you're getting cut up, especially in the early rounds, all of a sudden you're bleeding. You can't see. Not great optics for the judges as well. So I think there's a lot of things that make me kind of lean towards Poirier here, because I do think that that chin is taking a big beating over Holloway's career. Even if he's not necessarily as old as Poirier, he's definitely been in more wars.
Yeah, both guys have never avoided any of the elite competition here. The middleweight fight is interesting. $185, the co-main. Kovalev versus Paulo Costa, who I don't, look at Paulo Costa. The guy should be an absolute He can't win. When is the last time he actually won a fight? I don't get it with him. What are we going to get in this one?
You know, you're absolutely right. It's really hard to put your money on Costa for a couple of reasons. Absolutely no fight IQ, and he also just seems like he's not motivated half the time. I mean, if you follow him on X, he might be one of the most entertaining fighters on X now. He does some outrageous stuff. He says some hilarious things, but you put him in the octagon, he's just so erratic. You mentioned you can't remember the last time he won. 1-4 in his last 5. That win was by decision against a 38-year-old washed-up Luke Rockhold. So I get that you might not want to necessarily bet him on the whole, but I love him on the spread, plus 3.5. So really you're just counting on him to win one round, not get 10-8'd. Keep in mind, I mean, even in these fights against guys like, he came in way out of shape against Vittori, 20 pounds overweight. He still won a couple of rounds there. He won a round against Whitaker, won a round, maybe 2 against Strickland. And now he's facing a guy in Kopylov who has been a little bit uneven in his fights. He's lost at least 1 round in 4 of his last 5. Obviously, he lost that first round, and then he got subbed in the second round against Hernandez. But also he lost a round against Curtis, lost a round against Cesar Almeida, and even lost a round to Claudio Ribera before getting the knockout win there. So he's not a guy that necessarily goes out and dominates his opponents. So I do like Costa to win a round. Is he going to pull off the upset? Maybe not. But I do like him on the spread there at plus 3.5, which you're getting at about minus 130.
Patricia the Pitbull, does he go out on top, 38 years old?
I do not think so. I mean, I don't think he looked great against Dyer, and now he's facing Ige. Ige is a guy that does not get finished. I mean, Ige faced Diego Lopez on like 24 hours notice and didn't get finished. Knockout power in his mitts, 4 of his last 5 wins coming by knockout. And I'm not talking about those featherweight knockouts where he has a flurry of punches. I mean, he's just dropping guys with one punch. Now he's taking on Patricio Freire. Pitbull's 38. He got knocked out by this Japanese guy in Ryzen a couple years ago. That guy, Suzuki, is on a 3-fight losing streak. He's not exactly a great fighter himself. He got dropped by Yair. And like I said, he's been in a lot of wars. And at 38, I think that chin's about to go as well. So I like Ige by knockout. You're getting that at about plus 275.
Gotta love it. Rohit, it is always a pleasure, my man. Should be a great card. Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
Oh, yeah, time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with 1 entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri as we look to close out this edition together. Have no fear, we got much more still to come here tonight, including a very special edition of In-Game Live, top of the hour. Scott Wetzel and company will get you caught up following all the Major League Baseball action tonight, as we are getting ready, of course, for the WNBA All-Star Game, which is tomorrow in Indiana, and I'm sure they'll have some picks for you on that. But in the meantime, we got plenty of Major League Baseball to go over with you and monitor, as the Pirates have finally gotten on the board here, but not before the White Sox have dropped a 4 spot on them. It is 4-1 right now as they head into the top of the 5th inning there. Oh boy, it was quick. It was a Kyle Schwarber 3-run home run, or solo home run rather, and then a 3-run home run by Harper in the second inning made it a very quick 4-0 game for Philadelphia. But don't look now. The bats of the Angels coming alive. It is now 4-3 in that one. They are in the bottom of the 4th. Pretty good pitching battle going on between Soroka and Dylan Cease right now, as the Nats at home. They're down 1-0 to the Padres. Padres scored early in this one, but other than that, Soroka and Cease have done a really good job of limiting the damage. Unfortunately, limiting the damage, not in the vocabulary for the Giants and Verlander, as I did not understand this line. We talked about it. I hope you guys were able to jump in on it. But the Blue Jays, 4-0 already, top of the 3rd over Verlander and the Giants. Bassett, and listen, Bassett's given up a couple of hits already. He's worked around some issues. But once again, the Giants finding it difficult to get that big hit to open some games up, while the Blue Jays at home, well, they continue to roll 4-0 right now, top of the 3rd. And the Guardians all over JP Sears and the Athletics right now, 5-0 as they head to the top of the 4th here. No runs, no hits for the Athletics here as they're getting ready for that second time through the order. And it looks like we got a 2-0 Mets lead here over the Reds. Soto had a solo home run to start it off for the Mets in the first inning. They've added one here now, 2-0 over the Reds. And the Marlins, they don't care what Seth Lugo throws at them. They are hitting it right now. Stowers is just an absolute monster. Can't get this kid out. He's already 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run. Now he's got another single, and it is 5-0 with Sandy Alcantara auditioning possibly for maybe a trade and an opportunity to play for a contender. He's looked pretty good so far as the Marlins are on top 5-0. And my goodness, that is no way to treat your senior citizens night if you are the Tampa Bay Rays, as they have already smacked Charlie Morton and the Orioles 3-0 in that one as they head to the bottom of the 2nd, looking to add more. And the Braves wasted no time to get all over the bullpen game of the Yankees. Ian Hamilton started that game and promptly gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 1st, rather. They're in the top of the 3rd. It is still 3-0 Braves in that one. But coming up, you got plenty more action here. The Tigers and the Rangers. I think this is going to be a good one. I like the under. No team has been better to the under at home than the Rangers have. Well, scratch that. The Guardians have also been a moneymaker this season to the under at home, but the Rangers as well. Corbin versus Olsen here tonight. Tigers coming into this one slumping, having lost their last 4 games before the break. The hitting's just not there. Reese Olsen been pretty good, though, for the Tigers. I like the under 8.5 in that one. And yes, they're still playing baseball in Colorado. For what reason, I have no idea. But the Rockies at home, Kyle Freeland with his 1-10 record, taking on Chris Paddock and the Twins. And then get ready, of course, Dodgers and Brewers for your late night action here tonight. Mix in a little Astros, Mariners, and then the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. The good news is you don't have to go anywhere. In-game live has got it all covered for you. That's coming up next. Game Time Decisions. We'll see you again on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you then.